linebackers, Franklin and Speed. Keep your eye on Fields.
Fields again, the initial fake. Fields going to run for it, taking on tacklers, and he bangs it in.
3rd and long. Wilson floats it way upstairs. Williams, he's got it. Touchdown.
Hello everyone, this is the Pocket Passer. I'm your host, Randy White. I hope all of you are having a fantastic day. I know I am, because we get to talk about what it is that Russell Wilson is doing to take this Steelers offense to the next level. What's the difference between him and Justin Fields? We're going to find out right now. Before I talk about all the great things Russell Wilson is doing for this team, I want to give Justin Fields his flowers for stepping in a situation where, yes, he was competing for the starting job, but never really given a super even shot. Russell Wilson was brought in to be the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. A calf injury sidelined him for 6 weeks, and they gave Justin Fields a shot. But in that time frame, Justin Fields went 4-2. He averaged 222.8 yards total per game. That's passing and rushing combined. 1.6 total touchdowns per game. Sacked 16 times for 124 yards. Lost from sacks. He fumbled the ball 4 times. The offense averaged 20.6 points per game over that time period. 298.3 yards per game for the offense. And 18.3 first downs per game. The third down percentage, Justin Fields was 39% on third down. So the Steelers offense converted 39% of their third downs under Justin Fields as the starting quarterback. I thought he did a lot of things that showed a ton of growth from his time in Chicago. He looked much more comfortable in the pocket. I thought he was way better on time, getting the ball on time, although he was still late. And one of the reasons I think Russell Wilson is better is because Russell Wilson gets the ball out more on time. He's faster with his decision-making, faster with his information processing. But Justin Fields, I think, has taken huge leaps and has shown that, honestly, right now it looks like they maybe should have stuck with him in Chicago over going for Caleb Williams. Now, long-term investment, Caleb Williams has more potential. He's got more arm talent and more overall, I think, potential to be a successful quarterback in the NFL. So it makes sense why they would draft him long-term. Taking a bad offensive coordinator is going to hurt that development. I have a whole video talking about Shane Waldron's firing. That'll be available on my channel, so go check that out. Shameless plug aside, let's keep talking about Justin Fields and what he's done well. He throws a good deep ball. He gets the ball on time, as I said, and he adds a scrambling element to the game that Russell Wilson does not. He had 5 rushing touchdowns during his time as a starter. He also had a good chunk of yards on the ground that Russell Wilson does not bring to the table. Russell Wilson averages just 4.3 yards per game rushing, as opposed to the, I think, between 40 and 60 something that Justin Fields was doing. So big difference there. However, Russell Wilson averages just in passing yards 245.7 yards per game, which is 23 more yards per game than Justin Fields averages total, and that's just the passing. So you add on the 4 or so rushing, and you're going to get about 25, 26, 27 more yards per game from Russell Wilson. You're also getting 2.3 touchdowns per game as opposed to 1.6. He's been sacked 8 times in 3 starts as opposed to 16 in 6 starts. So that looks pretty much the same, but he's averaging less yards lost per sack. 46 total yards lost on the 8 sacks as opposed to 124 on the 16 sacks for Russell Wilson. Now, a big chunk of that could be a bad sack he took against the Colts for a loss of 30, and then a fumble. That was a disaster. Russell Wilson's got 0 fumbles as opposed to Justin Fields' 4 fumbles. Russell Wilson's offense, 30.3 points per game, again to Justin Fields, 20.6 points per game. So the offense is more productive, more yards per game, 382.3 yards per game to the 298.3 yards per game for Justin Fields. So almost 100 more yards per game, 10 more points per game, and first downs per game, 2 more first downs per game. So you're seeing more explosiveness. Why is that? Well, Russell Wilson, he gets the ball on time more effectively. His deep ball placement is very good, and he puts that ball high in the air. We've talked about this for years. Everyone that watches a Russell Wilson game, you're going to hear a commentator say at some point, you're going to hear an announcer say, look at that moon ball. Going to talk about the moon ball. Going to talk about how high he puts that ball. Justin Fields typically putting that ball more on a line. There's less room for error. There's less of an opportunity for the receiver to be able to go high point the ball, make a play on the ball, and just outplay a corner, especially when you got George Pickens, who's great at making those plays, attacking the ball when it's high in the air. If you put that ball high in the air, you're going to give guys like George Pickens an opportunity to make some ridiculous plays. That's why we've seen George Pickens really come alive since Russell Wilson has taken over. Now, we're 3 games into Russell Wilson's reign of the Steelers offense. So this could all fall apart. Maybe someone watches enough film and figures out a way to stop it. But from what I see, the Steelers offense is doing mostly the same stuff with Russell Wilson as they did with Justin Fields. Not a bunch of huge differences. There's still zone run scheme, and the run game, by the way, has also come alive in a big way. Some of that could be, maybe the offensive line is just kind of clicked together. It's true that zone run schemes, there's a lot of continuity within the offensive line that's really important. Communication is vital, and as that offensive line plays together more and more, they're going to get better. Run blocking is going to get better, and all you need is a couple creases to get a little wider through better communication, through better timing and steps, for running backs to be able to hit those creases faster and get more explosive gains because those holes are just a little wider. So very true that could be the reason. It could also be Russell Wilson's effectiveness with the deep ball, Russell Wilson's effectiveness running the offense more efficiently has forced defenses to play the run game a little less aggressively, and that's opening up the run game. And then when you have to stack the box against the run in short yardage situations, you've also got the threat of Russell Wilson on those outside zone bootlegs that the Steelers run a ton of, and taking those checkdowns, taking those shots over the middle, and then opening up and giving Mike Williams on his first target as a Steeler a deep shot touchdown on a big play to give the Steelers the lead over the Commanders in a game they would eventually win 28-27. So Russell Wilson is opening up this offense. They're averaging 10 more points per game with him. They're averaging over almost 100 more yards per game with him. They have opened up in a big way, 2 more first downs, third down efficiency up 2%, almost 3%, 41.86% with Russell Wilson as opposed to the 39% with Justin Fields. So we are seeing a leap in offensive production with Russell Wilson. Mike Tomlin took a gamble on a team that was performing well, but was probably a one-and-done playoff team. Now with Russell, it looks like they could legitimately make some noise into late January, maybe even February. Be a stretch, but it'd be pretty cool, and it might just happen. Let's jump into the film and break down some of these plays and show you exactly what I mean about Russell Wilson's deep ball as opposed to Justin Fields' deep ball. Hey, I hope you guys are enjoying this video so far. Before we get back to the video, I want to thank all of you for the support. We made it to 547 subscribers so far, and I became a YouTube partner yesterday. So I appreciate all of the support from all of you over the last several years, 2 years, and counting. This is my 3rd season covering the NFL on this YouTube channel. I appreciate all the support. If you've enjoyed this channel so far and don't want to miss future uploads, smash that subscribe button, turn on notifications. Now let's get back to the video. All right, this is one example. There's several, but this is the one I chose to use. Justin Fields is going to throw a seed here to George Pickens. 3-step drop, 1 hitch, let it go. Now look at the height of this ball. You see how it's pretty low to the ground for a deep shot here. You'd like to see a little more height. He kind of rifles this in and it hits George Pickens in the chest in stride, right? So what does that require? It requires great ball placement. Now you get the great ball placement here, so it works out. George Pickens makes a nice play to haul it in on 3rd and 2 in a one-on-one situation. So that's big time. But what are we seeing here? It has to be perfect ball placement. So it's got to be either a little bit out in front or behind the DB, but it barely sneaks in over the DB's shoulder right here. If it's just a little lower, we're talking a foot, maybe not even a foot, lower, or to the right, inside, it's an incomplete pass. So that's the room for error that Justin Fields does not give himself, that Russell Wilson does give himself. Now, I know you guys are saying, hey, Randy, you just showed a completion for Justin Fields earlier, for example, for a low ball. Well, here's an example of not giving your guy George Pickens a chance to adjust to the football because the ball comes in so flat and hot. Again, put more air under this, float it, give George Pickens an opportunity to make a play on the ball in the air. Here, a ball comes in flat, corner's able to put his hand in the air, knock it down, right? Corner route to George Pickens here. Ball placement's not great. It's inside a little bit too much, but Russell Wilson goes, hey, I got one-on-one, corner's back is turned to me. I'm going to put this ball high. Let it float in the air a little bit. It's in the air for longer than that throw from Justin Fields. Gives George Pickens an opportunity to high point it. And yeah, Ball placement's not great. You'd like to see this kind of more to the corner, but also doesn't help is George Pickens takes a very flat angle. See how he's bending kind of towards the sideline, probably about 4 yards deep in the end zone. It's going to be really, really hard for Russell Wilson to fit this ball in to this corner here with this corner trailing in tight coverage. So he's expecting George Pickens, I think, to bend this more vertical towards the back pylon, so that's why you see this throw behind him. I think the throw's better than it looks, and George Pickens able to adjust to it and make a ridiculous grab in the end zone. Fade ball on a 2nd and long. They end up gifting Russell Wilson one-on-one. They get play action. This one's not the greatest ball placement, but again, look how high that ball is. You're going to say, hey, George Pickens is better at tracking the football than their corner. So just put the ball up high, and even though this gets underthrown and kind of hangs inside a little more than you'd like, Pickens able to adjust to it and play it, use his body to box out the corner and go make a play. If this ball is flat and low like that and inside as much as it is, corner might be able to squeeze and make a play. But because the ball's in the air for so long, gives George Pickens enough time to outplay the corner and go make a play. Russell Wilson is going to teach Justin Fields a lot this year. I think Justin Fields has great potential to be the Steelers guy moving forward down the line. But right now, this is the Russell Wilson show. He runs the offense more effectively, more on time, and the way he throws the deep ball is perfect for receivers that know how to play the ball in the air. There's a reason he's been exceptionally successful at doing it for so many years. He didn't just forget how to play quarterback, guys. The Denver Bronco years were due to, I guess, a bad connection between him and Nathaniel Hackett, and then a bad connection between him and Sean Payton. Now we're in a situation where he is in an offense built for him to succeed, and he's going to succeed. That's all I got for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, leave a comment, and smash that subscribe button, and I'll see all of you in the next video. Peace.